My name's Deborah Wong, and I'm host of the SoundQs podcast.
And I'm David Hyde, and I'm a reporter for the SoundQs team.
Well, here's a dirty little secret about how journalists do their job. We sit around in a room and we sort of talk about what we want to cover, right? It's not immediately obvious what the news is. We kind of decide what it is. So SoundQs is a way to bring listeners into that room, right? Around that table, and we get hundreds or thousands of minds at work deciding what is the news and what is interesting and what should be reported.
Okay, so Deb, what is your favorite SoundQ episode so far?
Well, I love going up on the seaplane because a listener asked, what's it like to land on a seaplane in Lake Union, which is really filled with boats most of the time. And so we went up with a pilot and found out that it's really not that hard to land. It looks harder than it is. They get a really good view of what's underneath them, and they choose two places, one extra place in case something happens with the first, and they land really fast.
That was one where you really had to stretch a little bit.
I had to stretch because I do not like small planes. But I did it in the name of journalism. I went up in the air, and it was super fun.
So what do you think, flying lessons?
No, not for me. Not for me. Not in this lifetime.
For me, one of the best questions we got was, why is there a gun range next to a school in Issaquah? Because first of all, I didn't know there was a gun range right next door to a school in Issaquah, and it's literally like 200 feet from the ball field, as we learned. And when you get out of the car in Issaquah, it's incredibly loud. It turns out that the answer is complicated, nuanced. There's a lot of history to it. You might think one thing and learn something else when you end up hearing that story in that episode. And it gave us a chance to talk about the 8th Congressional District race that ended up being one of the races that actually flipped the U.S. House of Representatives. So there was a lot to that story and a lot to that question.
People have amazing tools at their disposal to find answers, right? You can Google a lot of things. But the questions that we want to take on are not Googleable.
I feel like a lot of really great questions kind of come out of gripes. If there's something that's bugging you, oftentimes that leads to some kind of a great question. So send us your gripes. I mean, questions.
Yeah, really, seriously, send us your questions.
We'll answer all of them.
You won't. We've had hundreds of questions.